This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Ira. You make any bets lately?
Poor Terry. Because I just got to feel, look, even if there's something was untoward there, you know that a guy is not risking a $26 million salary so some schnook somewhere can make 13,000. Excuse me?
And win 13 grand?
Win 13 grand. For 13 grand, for like less than 1/10 of 1% of your salary. Now, do people do silly and stupid things? Yes. But Big O, I want to preface this. And again, for people not familiar, there was a report on ESPN that someone made 30 prop bets on one game on Terry Rosier and the unders. Fewer than X amount of steals and blocks and shots and points and rebounds and assists. And that's all well and good. How those bets are allowed when you know this kind of thing can happen. I could see overs on props. I know you're trying to balance the scales, but because then someone has to do something. But if someone pulls out of a game 1 minute after playing, the bet is live because the player saw action. And so I can't tell you how many times, Big O, before a game, I will get all kinds of DMs or texts or whomever, is so-and-so playing? Is so-and-so going to be out there today? Everyone, as if they're my good, close personal friends. Now, when Big O says it's one thing, that's fine because he only gambles in Bitcoin. So that's different. But
wait a minute. Hold on a second. Is that a gamble?
No, I'm saying you use your Bitcoin to bet on Terry Rosier. So that's different. So
well, no, I would never. No, don't do that to me. Come on, bro.
So you know what probably happened here is
responsibility. You want me to bet my Bitcoin? No, I don't even let anyone. No, I don't even buy anything with my Bitcoin.
All right.
No.
So what I'm saying is, look,
bro,
I could see Terry Rosier telling someone that day, I don't feel so good. My stomach hurts. I ate the bad guacamole. Who knows? And then someone turns around and bets it. There's thoughts that someone watched Terry warm up that game while he was still in Charlotte, and then someone took that information. Now, could it be, as people are saying it possibly could be, hey, I don't think I'm playing today, bet the under? Man, you would have to be so low on the common sense chart to do something like that. I find it unfathomable, but I will say this. When the feds get you in their grasp, they will sweat you out for everything possible to make a case against someone. And I think that's where Terry is right now. And yes, I did write about the possibilities of his money coming off the books, of his contract being taken care of. I don't think they get the first round pick back. But Big O, at the moment, there is a lot at play. I personally think that the NBA is a party to this by allowing this type of betting behavior. And Adam Silver can say all he wants, hey, we don't set the line, we don't make the bets.
They don't. And the greed factor on the other side from the casinos, they want as many stupid people betting.
Promote them. But every NBA arena, you see the names of the gambling companies. You see them in front of the benches. So they are party to this. They are pursuant to this. So this is what you reap when you get into that realm. And like you know, Big O, you're a big soccer fan. It's been going on for decades in Europe. Everyone has sports books at the stadium. Sports betting is part of the sports vernacular across the world, and I get it. So you're going to have moments like this. Unfortunately for the Heat, it happens to a guy who couldn't be any further down on his luck from a playing perspective in the first place.
Could it happen for a second time to the Heat? Because the Anthony Carter break.
Yes, and that's what I'm thinking of. And for people who aren't familiar, Anthony Carter was a very erstwhile player with the Heat who had about a $5 million player option to pick up by June 30th. The day, actually, I think it was July 4th, I called his agent and I said, why is he listed as a free agent? And I was, oh, that's a mistake. We'll take care of that. And the NBA and the Heat said, hey, you didn't file in time. It's off our books. We're going to get Lamar Odom. A year later, we're going to trade Lamar Odom for Shaquille O'Neal. A year after that, we're going to win our first championship and be on our way. So I do not think the Heat will be altruistic here. And if the Heat can find a way out of Terry Rozier's contracts, which will be like the key to unlocking everything, below the aprons, below the tax, having all kinds of exception money to spend, if not now, at the trading deadline, they'll do it because they loved Anthony Carter. They brought him back as an assistant coach. But I believe these are the words of the Big O, Orlando Alzugaray, it's business. And when it's business, you take care of business first. If the Heat can get off of Terry Rozier's money, not saying they will, not saying as of now they can, But if the door is opened, as much as they might love Terry as the person, it's
that
a
down.
business.
Kick it down, baby.
Yeah,
Kick that door down if you could do it, man.
I agree.
Jesus. All right. So are we done with the LeBron fodder to Miami?
We're never good with LeBron fodder for one reason. Because there has never been a more passive-aggressive personality in the history of the NBA, including Michael Jordan, who didn't have the social media sphere to play it off into. LeBron loves sweating everyone. He loves sweating his coaches that sometimes get fired. He loves sweating his general managers that sometimes move on. He loves sweating his team. So we've already seen some.
Too, by the way. He sweats team presidents too during
Yes, during soccer matches. During soccer matches at his hotel in Las Vegas. So yes. So LeBron, look, already say what you want or not about Marcus Smart, but the Lakers are making any moves they can to show an appeasement that they're trying to win at the moment. But it only takes a moment in time for LeBron James to show up and for them to go, hey, we got you, Marcus Smart. We made this offseason move. And LeBron will go, yeah, good, but not good enough. Miami, Cleveland, New York. And just start the whole thing again, and we will get caught in a spin cycle because that's what passive-aggressive does. But I will add this caveat. He's also earned that right. He's also earned the right to be bigger than the owners, bigger than the front offices, and bigger than the game, because whether you say he's the greatest of all time, I have Wilt number 1 on my list, but whether you say he's the greatest of all time or not, he is the greatest player who's still active in the NBA right now based on his resume. LeBron can do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have no problem with that. And I have no problem with somebody saying Wilt or Kareem.
Michael,
or
sure.
You know, it's really so subjective. And everyone
at the moment, he's the name. At the moment of the greatest players to play the game ever, he's the one still standing. He can dictate this status, the issue. Yeah.
It is, and it is amazing how you can make an argument for several people to be the GOAT of the number one guy. You know, it's just really
look at Wilt's numbers. Just look at Wilt's numbers and what he did in averaging 50 points and 20 rebounds, and then everyone's saying, oh, he's bigger than everyone. There have been a lot of big guys and a lot of big stiffs over the years. It was more than height. He was a remarkable player.
You don't average. He went and averaged like a point guard just to like prove to you that he could be.
When he was told by Riley to get assists, when the Lakers rather get assists, he went out and he got assists. He could do anything he wanted, and it comes back to the old championship and Marino and Stockton and Malone. And if you don't win a championship, you're not validated. You can validate a lot of other ways, and he did.
No, there's no doubt. And Kareem, for me, I have no problem when people. For me, I say MJ, but I never have a problem when somebody says Wilt or Kareem, because if you watch those two.
Sure.
Jesus Christ, dude. And why is it that nobody just learns the goddamn hook, Ira?
Yes, I was going to say, if you were to tell me most unstoppable shot in NBA history, it's Kareem's sky hook. You could say what you want about Messi's free kicks and what he could do, but the most unstoppable play maybe in all of sports was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sky hook launched from about 2 or 3 feet above the rim. And what he could do with his body in between him and his defender. Unstoppable.
The shit was away from you. There's no way you were getting to that ball, dude.
Old school. I agree.
Jesus Christ. I don't know how people have not learned to do that shot, because they learn how to do the teardrop. A lot of guys learn how to do the teardrop. So if you have that skill set, I would imagine you should be able to. Look, I mean, even Magic did a little baby hook as time went on. You know, with the Lakers, it's just the weirdest thing. The Lillard return to Portland, I gotta say, I found it weak. To be quite honest, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because they booted your ass out from there. Now you're gonna go back to him. I would have. I'm Lillard, see, but he already showed me his colors, because the history of this league is. You go when you're a star, you get traded wherever you want to go. Okay. That's how it goes. I don't care if you're Anthony Davis, if you're Shaq, whatever it is, you're Harden, you will go wherever the hell you want to go. And he got pushed to Milwaukee when he wanted to come here. If he really wanted to come here, he could have been a dick and forced his way here, but he doesn't have that kind of attitude. So he went with it. It didn't work out. He got his buyout, and now he goes back to Portland. If you really want to win, I take this year off almost. Maybe the whole year, or maybe towards the end of the year or something, I sign with somebody. But I look at what the landscape is, I get healthy, and then I look around and see what contender needs a player to help them win a championship. And then I go there for the next 2 years, and I try to win a championship. That's what I would have done if I'm Damian Lillard. This is a guy that's very passive aggressive.
You know what? I'm going to unwind a couple of things there.
Yeah.
Your point about him going back to Joe Cronin, who basically came into his house before this whole process and said, I'm not taking care of you. I'm taking care of me. We are done. You can't come back. There was one point before he left Portland where Damian said, can we get this thing resolved? And Joe Cronin said, no, you're gone. You know what the equivalency is there? And it's funny. We're talking about passive aggressive, who we just talked about. LeBron James going back to play 4 years and winning a championship for Dan Gilbert. Yeah. Because you remember, Big O, when LeBron left Cleveland to come to Miami, that sans serif letter that basically called LeBron James a Judas.
Yes.
But LeBron James realized if he wanted to go home and he wanted to be in his comfort zone, he had to put up with the owner. And you know this, Big O, from so many sports.
But huge difference there, man.
Okay.
He had a legit chance to win a title because they had a young core. He loves his Cleveland, bro. He loves Akron. He loves those people. He went there and he controlled the entire situation. And he went there to bring the championship, and he made Dan Gilbert look like a horse's ass because he went back there, won the championship, and left again, which is is a G-ass move. This guy has no chance of winning a title.
I agree.
Going back just to go back to a creature
family.
That's
family.
it.
Family. You know what? Family matters, Big O. And if he's going to be back with his children after going through a divorce, I can understand that. The one thing I'll say to counter you, as we do and argue here every week on our accurate Pembroke Pines report, is this. Big O at times also has talked about players chasing rings, just going out and latching onto someone, maybe not Brad Marchand, but there have been plenty of them in many sports over the years. Yeah. Well, give Damian Lillard credit now is that he put family and home first before chasing a ring. This is not ring chasing. This is not Anthony Davis saying the Pelicans can't get me where I want to go somewhere else. That's a difference, and that's a big difference. This is not what the Celtics accused Ray Allen of when the Celtics era was over and he came to the Heat. If his reasons, and look, these are his reasons, were to spend time with family, to get back home, there's plenty to be said for that, because I know plenty of my friends in Miami with their tightly knit community and homes don't want to ever leave South Florida, want to spend it here with their family, with their children, with the abuela. It means something.
Bubba, you and I have careers of 20 and 30 and 40 years. This is my 35th year.
Right.
What year is you? What year
I am going to my 38th year covering the Heat, 42nd at the paper. But what I'm saying is,
no athlete does that. They don't have.
Okay, but if one does,
a short career and you got plenty of time to hang with your family, bro.
Right. But that would be like saying Dwayne Wade came back to the Heat with no chance to win a championship, but it was the right move. I equate this to LeBron to Cleveland. I equate this to Damian going to Portland. There are certain places, if you look at a player, you can say he is of that fabric, and the opposite of that, and he never shuts up, this guy, is Paul Pierce having played in places we don't even remember, when he was a Washington Wizard and a Brooklyn Net and an LA Clipper, and he just went everywhere and anywhere. So I give every player one jump to go back home.
Also, by the way, Shaq did it at the end.
I mean, Shaq is a Sun. Shaq is a Cavalier. Shaq is a Celtic. Exactly. So I'm going to cut Damian Lillard some slack here that if he chose family and hometown ties over winning, I have no issue. He did not chase the ring. He was not the ring chaser. It makes more sense for him. Look, if you're telling me Orlando Alzugaray in our accurate Pembroke Pines report, it made no sense for Damian Lillard to go back to Portland because he can't win, I got to tell you, if he went to Miami, he would probably have about the same chances as winning a championship, except it's the East.
The Miami decision was last year.
Right.
Not now. I'm not saying now. I told you now what I would do if I'm him. I would rehab and then take a 35,000 view look at the NBA. And while I'm getting my rehab, I'm going on TV. I'm going to do some appearances. I'm going to do some color analyst, all that stuff. I'm going to show my personality over the next year. I'm going to rehab. And then I'm going to, with the whole PR move and everything, now I'm going to make my move back
and parachute into Oklahoma City, and then he will be criticized like Kevin Durant was when he went to the Golden State Warriors of parachuting into a championship.
He got it. But if he gets his title, that's all that matters. And maybe he goes to Houston and he helps Houston beat OKC to then get to win the title. Who knows? Whatever, dude. At least go do so. Be about winning, dude. Be really about winning, and have some cojones. But
well, what I'll say about this and where we started today and say about LeBron is I do like when the wish list names are off the table for this reason. Then I can say this: get real, Miami Heat. Stop the pipe dreams. Stop the names you can latch onto. Give me something substantive. Neither of us saw when we spoke 2 weeks ago about Norman Powell coming here. God bless Andy Ellisberg. He saw a Clippers team that needed to clear space for John Collins and eventually Bradley Beal, and he swooped in. He said, yeah, we'll take one of those. One Norman Powell, please. One more move like that, and the Heat can get somewhere this season. So I want to see the one more move. That's what I give him credit for. But Big O, you're so right. Enough with the Kevin Durant. I've been through a decade of Kevin Durant. I almost feel like Kevin Durant somewhere at Kaseya Center has a jersey ready made. That there is a Durant Heat jersey because he's always been on call. Damian Lillard has been on call 2 of the last 3 years. Let's not chase the pipe dreams. Let's get realistic. Are you going young? Are you living in the moment?
You're not going. With that, you're not. You're not doing what I want to do. Go young. So now we're kind of. Okay, you made your bed. This is what you want to do.
I'll tell you exactly where they are.
What is that other move that let's get off the LeBron and obviously Durant or anything like that. But what is that other move? Because I see people talking about Kuminga and other people that are still available and haven't moved yet and haven't been signed. Is there another guy that they can add? Because we know what they are. They're going for it. Okay, so they're not going to add another young guy. They're going to add another veteran.
And I want a quality veteran in the power rotation because say what you want about Bam as a Batman, as a Beta, as a number 2. Beyond him, you got Khalil Ware, who we even saw in Summer League was up and down. You have Vlad Golden, who was so raw but so freaking big. You have Nico. You need one more proven guy there. And again, not the guy I'm going to mention, but someone who you could see they've had glue guys there. When they had PJ Tucker, glue guy. When they had Jay Crowder, glue guy. They find a player like that, then all of a sudden you say, you know what? In a playoff situation, I might not trust Nikola. I might not trust Khalil. I might not trust Vlad. I know Haywood is too small, God bless him, but this guy is the guy in a playoff situation who going against an Evan Mobley or a Jared Allen, unlike last spring, we could make it work. So I think there's one more move there. There's one more roster spot. There's one more possibility. And what I will say this, as we record this right now, is this. So interesting that the Dolphins are opening training camp on Tuesday because these are 2 teams stuck in the middle. Every now and then, the Heat pops up and, whoa, we're in the NBA Finals, 2020, 2023.
The Heat has now become the Dolphins.
Right.
But
yes, they've fallen into that. So I'm very interesting just to see how Mike McDaniel tries to say we're not mediocre. And Eric Spoelstra on September 29th at Media Day will say we're not mediocre. Well, you know what, Big O? If you were down there in that press conference, in that press room, you would say, just like I will say, why aren't you mediocre? Show it to me. And more than that, prove it to me. Because you know what happens with mediocre rosters and mediocre players? Mediocrity. And stuck in the middle, as Big O has been absolutely lambasting me on the Acura Pembroke Pines report for the last 2 months, is a god-awful place to be in sports because you wind up like the Dolphins going to the final Sunday of the season, desperately trying to get in the playoffs until Tyreek Hill realizes it's over, or you wind up like the Heat saying, hey, baby, playing. And this time playing, we're even going to get a home playing game because people love nothing more than playing basketball. So both teams are in the same place. Don't tell me you're not mediocre.
Well, kind of, because the Dolphins don't have the guy to elevate them. The Heat do. The Heat do have the coach and the coaching staff that can make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
I agree.
And we haven't had that coach in, oh my God, it's been decades.
And Eric Spoelstra is so good about that he talks up Mike McDaniel all the time. That 2 years ago for Halloween, he dressed with the glasses and the watch like Mike McDaniel. But you know what? The talk has to be accompanied by something tangible. Mike McDaniel is a fascinating case study and personality. We saw that at Hard Knocks. Well, that's well and good, but I also know this. There are plenty of coaches in the NBA who are wonderful to cover, Doc Rivers, and yet at the end of the day, come playoff moments, big moments, Doc Rivers, wind up getting you nowhere, except for that one moment in the sun he had with the Celtics. So talk the talk all you want. It doesn't matter. Tell me about who's going to be great, who's going to do this. It doesn't matter. You tell me you're going to get Tyreek Hill going. I tell you I'm going to get Khalil Ware going. Don't tell me. Show me. Make Tyreek Hill all-pro again. Make Khalil Ware starting level quality, all rookie first team instead of second team level. You know, not to steal, but just do it.
Right. No, it's true. I'm with you there. All right. What do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Just posted a feature on Kasparis Jakashionis about his uneven summer league, but I love what Eric Last, the summer coach, said. Now we have tape on him. Now we have a read on him. Now we have a book on him. And what I like about it, and I'm all for international competition, he's not going to play Eurobasket with Valanciunas and the Lithuanian national team. He's going to be back in the Miami Heat gym as soon as next month. He'll put in his time. This kid is committed. This kid has skills. This kid has to learn the NBA. This kid is also only 19. So I wrote about there's a good learning curve there. He has to learn. And in today's Sun Sentinel, in the newspaper, I wrote about Summer League and how interesting it was that the Heat, unlike a year ago with Isaiah Stevens and other young players, said, we are bringing our main guys to Summer League. We are showcasing them. We probably are not going to have anyone on this roster like Isaiah Stevens, like Zion Pullen last year as a two-way player because we're focused on the moment. So in the next 6 weeks, they can add up to two-way players. I think Drew Smith will be one. I would not be surprised if a player who spent no time on the Heat in Summer League winds up with the other two-way. So wheels are in motion even as the NBA slows down.
Is there any chance that the Yakachona ends up in Sioux Falls with Vlad to start off?
At times, I think there are times they will realize, hey, we have so many guys ahead of you. There's so many guys in this backcourt. Look, they brought in Norman Powell. They have Tyler Hero. They have Davion Mitchell. They have Pella Larson. Jaime Jaquez may get a resurrection. So it'll come down to this, Big O. If enough of those are playing well, go season the guy, go let him get a little bit of the Arctic North and realize why he doesn't want to be there. I think that'll be interesting. Matter of fact, last thing before I go, that's what to me made the LeBron thing such a non-starter. Everyone is saying if LeBron is traded, not saying he is, that Bronny has to come with him. Well, Bronny, when he was in LA and played in the G League, simply was in the Lakers practice facility. That's where their G League team plays. He didn't have to leave town. He could still live with mom and dad. Big O, do you think there's a chance in hell Bronny James is going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota in February?
No.
So I don't see how the Heat would work for him if LeBron says, I'm coming, take my son also. And that reminds me of, if you remember.
I don't know the rules. I got to plead ignorance here.
Sure.
He didn't sign a two-way contract, right?
No, he didn't. No, but you can send any young player to the G League for seasoning, or even older player. When Terry Rosier came back from his injury, he went up there, Dion Waiters, he went up there, so you can send players up there. I just don't see Bronny doing that or going up to Sioux Falls because he's above that. So that's the two-part thing. And there are two-part trades because if you remember, when the Heat got Goran Dragic from the Suns, who came with Goran? Do you remember? Zoran Dragic.
Zoran, yeah.
He came with them also. So I think LeBron, if there is a deal, would be a package deal. I think that'll be fascinating to see also. If LeBron is dealt, I guarantee you Bronny comes as part of the package.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and make sure you subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you. Have a fantastic week. We will catch up next week, sir.
Still creating content. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman, Acura Pembroke Pines. Boy, they got plenty of content there. They got tons of vehicles. They are the #1 volume sales dealership when it comes to Acuras in the Southeast United States. So get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard and tell them that Big O sent you. They will take care of you. I promise you. And we've got the Summer of Performance sales event going on right now, the 2025 Integra. You can get it for $299 a month. That's a joke. 3.9% financing for 60 months. The ADX beautiful sedan, $349 a month. The 2025 models, 4.9% financing for 60 months. We still have 2024 ZDXs, 0% financing for 72 months, and the RDX, $419 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. Tell them that I sent you. They will take care of you at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.